Tom, thank you so very much for doing this session. Now, Tom, when we go to Google and type in Spartan Trifecta, your picture shows up, and it shows up twice, in fact, and very rightly so. And if I'm not mistaken, Tom, you're currently ranked number 7 so far as Trifecta is concerned, and you've done N number of Spartan races, Tough Mudder, Mud Ninja, Warrior Dash, Lion Chase, and even Savage Race, which I'd like to talk about. Now, I'm really curious to talk about you, Tom, and get to learn about your journey in obstacle course race and your lifestyle in obstacle course race. So thank you so very much for doing this session. Really, really appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners will definitely benefit by listening to your episode, Tom.
You're very welcome.
Thanks again. Now, before we get started, just wanted to check, how has your day been so far? Because I follow you on Facebook, and I did notice you were doing some heavy workout earlier on today as well, right?
Yes, I keep I'm doing either I do CrossFit, and in between is like just light jogging. It's cold right now, but you just bundle up. So I like being busy. So that's what I'm doing right now, off season, and to get ready again for next season. Will be my first race will be in California, starting in California. I think the last weekend of January next year. So just training ready.
That's absolutely excellent. Now, Tom, we are in the holiday season, but what I've noticed is that you're actively doing 22 push-up every day, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I saw the reasoning why you're doing 22 push-up, but to our listeners in the Middle East, can you tell them the significance of doing 22 push-up daily? Because there's a very good reasoning behind that as well.
Yeah, first of all, it's a good workout for me. I'm kind of heavy set, so I learned something. Some of my friends, like I think they're military veterans, and in honor for them, to mostly for those people who have like experience, going to war, and so I do it for them, and I do it for myself. It's a good thing to remember them. And again, it's a good workout for me. So 22 push-up is like, it's not easy. So, but
Absolutely.
for military veterans.
Thank you so very much, Tom, for doing that. Now, before we get into, your obstacle course race and fitness, can you tell our listeners, Tom, where you originally from? And am I right in saying that you have some experience in martial arts as well?
Yes, actually, I do. I study martial art. I study Jiu-Jitsu,
Oh,
the Jiu-Jitsu, and then right now I'm doing a Kimpo karate. Kimpo
oh,
karate.
excellent. Now,
Is
in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, they have Abu Dhabi, I think it's called ADCC, which is Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu World Championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. It is. I like it. It's for me. I was. You told my master. Like I think it's martial art for me. It's a good thing. It's a physical. What do you call it? It's a physical exercise and also mental because you memorize moves. So it is a combination of physical and mental. Because I mean, when I did my advanced red, almost like one more test, and I got a black belt, and almost like 30 minutes of form, it's like you memorize. It is a lot of things to memorize.
Absolutely. And do you watch UFC at all by any chance, Tom?
Yes, I used to be big at USC, UFC, and I enjoy it. My favorite, UFC is the Last Emperor.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely, 100%. And for our listeners, you should know that he's talking about Fedor Emelianenko. He's
yeah.
one of the greatest of all times.
Oh my God, he is my favorite. I mean, he's just like he fought like bigger guys and everything,
Yes.
and he submitted, and I like him. He's my all time favorite because of like just watching them like holy cow, this is a small guy against a big guy. Yeah, my favorite.
100%. And I remember, I did an interview with Yancy Cup, who's the co-founder of Deca Fitness, and I asked him, which celebrity do you think, would tackle obstacle course race or Spartan race? And he did actually say Habib Nurmagomedov, who is also from Dagestan, Russia.
Oh, okay.
It's great to know that you have a very strong military, mixed martial arts experience. And also that you also have experience in restaurants and fast food eating, because lately you've been posting quite a lot of really delicacies as well, right?
I sometimes I joke about it, like the main reason why I travel is to actually to eat. I use obstacle racing as an excuse, and actually I like to travel to eat. And I just joke about that to my friends that actually I love to eat. I like buffet, and I like to try different foods. And you can see I have that here. I like
That's
eating.
absolutely great. And before the recording this session, Tom, we had a conversation that I told you about that I do have two band members. We are planning to have a brutal fight, most probably in a week's time or 2 weeks' time. So let's see how the thing goes.
Guys.
But Tom, to our listeners, can you tell us how many Spartan races you have done, how many hurricane heats you have done, tough mudder, savage races that you have done? Because the sport of obstacle course race is slowly gaining momentum in the Middle East. So I think you are, if not one of the most legends in the space of obstacle course race.
I can't remember how many savage race I have done. I think it's more than 20. I did 17 hurricane heat, and that's what happened when 2020, when during COVID-19, because that mother was canceled
Yeah,
and Spartan races were canceled, but the hurricane heat was still on. So actually, in that year, I did 17 hurricane heat, uh, 14 4 hours, and
14 4 hours.
yeah, 14 for 4 hours, and then two 12 hours, and then one 24 hours in 2020.
In 20. And am I right, Tom, in saying that on the 31st of December, there was a hurricane heat where people were spread all across the world and you guys were coordinating with some speaker or headphone? Am I right in saying that?
H3X. That's
Oh,
H3. And I think the Philippines was there, China was there, USA. I think USA get the biggest, participant. And I think either like 6 country was involved, and we started together in the same time. So I think we started like around noontime here, like Saturday, and some other countries like different times. So I think Philippines, I think because they're ahead of 12 hours, so I think instead of
yeah.
uh, like mid noon, and I think they started like midnight. Oh, that was brutal. I mean, H3X is brutal. I lasted like 14 hours. That was brutal.
And what about Spartan Race and Tough Mudder? How many
Uh,
Spartan races and Tough Mudders you have done?
Top Mother, I completed 65 Top Mothers. Four World Toughest. The 24 hours, I completed 4 of them, and that's experience. And then Spartan Race is I got 367 overall so far.
The 367 Spartan race. I know people in the Middle East, they are still aiming to touch the 100 mark, but you have definitely surpassed them by an absolutely massive, massive mile. So, it is definitely an honor for me to speak to you. And I really want to, learn a couple of things from you because you're living definitely a very active and healthy lifestyle. So, thank you so very much. And Tom, in Dubai, Middle East, we have Spartan race, we have Tough Mudder, and we have other obstacle course races, which is similar to, let's say, Savage Race, something similar to Old School Challenge and Desert Warrior Challenge. Now, if you have to pick one particular race or event, what would be your favorite one?
Spartan Race.
Spartan Race, yeah. And yeah, and what our listeners should do is if you go to Google, just type in Spartan Trifecta, and you will see quite a lot of pictures, but you will see Tom's picture twice, and rightly so, and we'll definitely get into the detail as to why that is. Now, Tom, take us to the very first obstacle course race you did. How did you find out about it, and what was the experience like?
It was, I still remember, October 4th, 2014. I
Oh,
was studying in martial art, my Kimpo karate, and my classmate Chris Flanagan, and I look at his Facebook. I was like, and I saw this like pictures. Like, I said, what is that? And it says racing. I was like, oh, wow, it looks so good. Mostly the far jumping picture. Like, oh, they
yeah,
got me. and I want to do that. So the following year, so I did my very first one. It was in Ohio. Again, it was October 4th, 2014. And I was wearing, just regular shoes with white socks because I don't know what I'm doing. I just went. I don't know nobody. It's like, okay, gonna try this, and like, it was funny. It was funny again. People look at me like, Spartan look at me like, look at my white socks, like, dude, what are you wearing? You're gonna get it. Like, I told him, like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
And was that the sprint, super, or beast? What event did you do?
Spread, spread.
And Tom, am I right in saying back then the sprint distance was still the same, or was it different? Or
Oh, it was longer. It was
it was
longer. The whole Spartan races, it was longer. They said like, like the sprint is like 5 mile ish.
I
it
see.
could it could be like 4 miles or 5 miles. Oh, they were bad before. They were way off. I mean, even like like the super and the beast is longer than the,
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they often say 21 kilometers, but it ends up being, let's say, 23 or 25.
yeah. But then, like I said, that don't believe the Spartan marker because it will mess you up.
Is that 100% correct? And Tom,
Yeah.
I saw your interview with Spartan Chief. That is Dan McDonald. I think it was in 2022. Now, two things that stood out for me, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put that interview in the show notes below as well. You said that the hurricane heat was tougher than Spartan Race. And the second thing which stood out for me is regarding Beast in Killington. Now, till date, I often see posts on Facebook where people ask, what is the toughest event they have ever done? And they say it is Killington Beast, but you did the Beast twice, back to back 2 days. So tell our listeners in Middle East both of those experiences, please.
2000, 2018 and 2019, I did back to back Beast.
Oh, okay.
So
In
I
Killington.
did 2018. I did Saturday Beast, and then Saturday and Sunday Beast, and then the following year I did back to back again, like a Saturday Beast and a Sunday Beast. So it's like 2 years in a row back to back. So it was brutal, but they make it harder now. They make it harder. Like last year, I think for me, Killington last year is the hardest. All the Spartan races, the over 300 Spartan races that have done last year in Killington was the hardest. I was. It was brutal. It was brutal. It was.
Yeah, I remember watching videos, I think it is the sandbag carry, which is extremely tough, where you have to go uphill for at least a mile, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Uh, well, that's not. I think maybe you're mistaken for like Palmerton.
I see, okay.
Palmerton. The sandbag is not too bad, but it's just like mount. It was like the death march. What happened last year is I think they're doing something in construction in the old venue, so we went to the of the mountain, and the famous they have this death march in Killington. That's famous to make the Killington famous because of the death march. It's like a mile of straight up. So before that last year, it's like we just started and they have this death march, which is longer and higher than the regular death march. So we have, and then we went down, and then we did the regular death march.
Oh, man.
It was brutal, and me and Ken Newcomb, we were together, and they have this cutoff time at I think it's Hercules Hoist,
Uh-huh.
mile 10. So we would get there like around like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and me and Ken like we're celebrating like, oh, we get only 3 more miles. We just gonna go down this mountain and we're done. And I think they had to finish around 7 o'clock, and then no. The cutoff time is 5 o'clock. So we're like, yeah, we're just okay. We're good. We're good. And George, after that mountain, there's another 5 or 6 mini.
Oh,
It was tough. It was brutal. So we end up like me and Ken finished like lucky we have a headlamp because it was dark. It was dark when we finished. And I think for me, based on my experience, I think Killington last year was the hardest. All the races that I've done.
And was that the trifecta weekend or just Beast?
Just this the beast and sprint.
On the same day?
No. The following day, the
Oh,
sprint is
following day. Okay, okay, okay.
and because I was thinking like I done 2 years 2 years in a row I can do back to back. I'm glad that they don't have the back to back
Yeah.
beast the same weekend. I'm glad they have a sprint because when I went back for the sprint, it was hard. And I don't even know if I can complete back to back a beast in Killington last year. It's no way, no way. It's
And
too.
I recently attended the Abu Dhabi World Championship, and I was speaking to some guys, and they were comparing, the event in Abu Dhabi with the one in Killington as well. So what you're saying is absolutely spot on and right. And Tom, what I want to find out is you have done so many OCR events. How do you plan for these events? And is there any tips that you'd like to share with our listeners who plan to do OCR events as much as you have done?
I because they're expensive.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So I always looking for the cheapest hotel,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
the cheapest, airfare, and sometimes I buddy with other, Spartan, like we share room or hotel and we share, rental cars. So that is safe, but it's still very expensive. And mostly I don't have sponsors. So uh, s- s- Spartan race is a very expensive hobby, but I like
And
it.
absolutely, you've done Spartan Greece as well, right?
Yes, I went back there last year, so it was my third year. I went in 2018, 2022, and then 2023. So 3 times went to
Three
Greece.
times. And with the amount of obstacle course race that you do, Tom, I'm very much sure that balancing the high number of races with daily life can be challenging. So, how do you manage time and maintain a healthy balance between, let's say, your obstacle course race pursuits and the other passion that you have?
I don't have other hobby.
Okay.
Working out. What do you call it? I manage. I have. They call me. They call my job is like hybrid employee. So either we can work at home or report in the office. I'm in my office. This is my office. So uh so the hybrid is like our deal is like you can report 3 times in 1 week in the office and pick 2 days you work at home. So I use this Saturday. No, I use Friday and Monday. As long as I got my laptop, I can
Nice.
I can work anywhere. So that's been good. That's why when I travel Friday, flying somewhere, I have my laptop and so they call me if they need my help. The same thing like Monday. So it worked out pretty good to be a hybrid employees.
Yeah, that is great. I think this hybrid kind of working is definitely helping a lot of people, right? You get to do your own things as well. So that is
Yes.
absolutely great. And that is definitely a good tip, for people who are aspiring to do
Mhm.
as many obstacle course race that you have done. Now, Tom, I want to ask something which you already briefly mentioned when you talked about your first race. Now, the next question is, are there any must-have gear besides the white socks that you definitely require when doing obstacle course race?
I, I highly recommend if you really want to do the obstacle racing to have a good shoes,
Mhm.
trail shoes, because that one right there mostly like for Spartan race because there's a lot of mountains and sometimes it's slippery, muddy, sometimes like snow, and I highly recommend to invest a good trail shoes. And for the world toughest mother, because of 24 hours, you had to buy a suit, the rubber suit, like scuba diving suit, because you're in and out in the water, like around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's freezing cold. You had to have a scuba gear, like the rubber suit, and because there's a lot of DNF because of hypothermia. So those are highly recommended. You had to have a rubber suit. And for me, I wear just regular short and regular shirt, but you must have, if you want to do a lot of obstacle racing, highly recommended to buy a good trail shoes. You have to.
Any, any trail shoes you would recommend, Tom, based on your experience?
I'm just using ASIC.
Oh,
A-
okay. Yeah, that is pretty good one as well. I've seen quite a lot of pro athletes use that also.
yes,
And
Salomon is very popular, but Salomon is really expensive. But ASIC is so far is been using it, and innovation also innovation.
yeah,
Innovation. So those are my thing because they're not super expensive because Solomon can be really really expensive, but yeah, there's innovation and ASIC, and I've been using that, and they're not very expensive shoes also, but it's good based on my experience.
yeah. And Tom, based on all of the obstacle course race that you have done, that is Savage Race, Tough Mudder, and even Spartan Race, is there a specific event that stands out for you when you think that this was hands down the best event that I ever had?
Killington.
Killington, the one that you did this year.
Yeah, because he kicked my butt every time he kicked my butt because it's hard.
That is very much true. And what I'm really liking is that because it is hard, that is one of the reasons why you like it. Because I've asked other people why they liked it. And they often say, because, this race was much easier than what I anticipated. In your case, it is exactly the opposite. So, definitely, definitely great to know that. Now,
because
Tom,
yeah,
yeah,
because of Killington, if you have like bragging rights, for
yeah,
example, like Bill Sparta, like what where did you do your bees? And when you say Killington, like
massive. I'm quite active on Facebook and ask everyone, and I see other people asking, what is the toughest race you have done? And it's hands down Killington. I see some people say Lake Tahoe, but then people reply and comment, you have definitely not done Killington, because Killington is definitely up there. But I'm not sure, Tom, if you've heard about the beast that we had in Abu Dhabi. That was pretty brutal as well, called as Lever.
that's what I hear. That's what I hear. And I was like, I saw some video like, man, they had a double sandbag in that.
Yes, that was this year, and this year the location was Al Watpa. To be honest, this year it wasn't that bad.
Oh
Com-
really? Oh
the
really?
compared to the one in Leva, it was absolutely brutal. But for some guys who practice in sand, it was a bit easier because the thing is, Tom, with sand, the moment you take one step, it is extremely, extremely soft sand. So your leg actually goes down, and I'll send you a video later on where I'll show you the uphill. And I know a lot of people who actually quit and they were like, I can't do this. But what I also found out is the guys who did that, they have done Killington as well, and they were like, Killington is equally tough. So, great to
Really?
know that that is your memorable experience. Now, Tom, what I want to find out is, you've done so many obstacle course race. During the race, is there a specific moment which was your darkest moment, and you felt, you know what, I'm in the wrong time, wrong place. I can't continue. Tell our listeners what was that moment and how did you overcome it?
I think the memorable for me, I think is 2016. Either I mean 2016 or 2015. It was in Asheville, Carolina. I was doing. I think it was a super, and it was a championship thing, and it was super, but it seemed like about 11 miles.
Oh,
Yes, it was super. It was like almost like 11 miles. So we have this bucket, and in that time we don't have the cover thing. It was open. You had to fill them up with
yeah.
sand. So it was so hard. It was so hard, and like so carrying this bucket, and I was I was like, oh my god, this is hard. And actually, I was turning the sideways because I was crying.
Jesus, that is so tough, yeah.
Yeah, that I don't want to let those people know that I was crying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can imagine because even the sandbag carry, because I'm only 5 feet two and I'm
Uh-huh.
64 kgs, the weight becomes excruciating for me.
Yeah. So yeah, that one. And actually, this year I having some problem with my foot because I'm
Yeah,
diabetic. I'm diabetic, and I was doing it in Fayetteville. We're doing the Beast. Me and Sam had. She asked me if I can join her because Sam is not, she's just started, and not very strong, and then Sam like thought like I gotta stay with Tom, if Tom you gotta protect me, and actually she protected me because somehow in mile eight, both my legs it was like in pain. It was in pain. It was in pain, and so we went to mile 11. It took us 3 hours. Every step painful, every step. And I thought I brought some ibuprofen, painkiller,
Yeah.
and checked my bag, and it wasn't there.
Ah,
So every step for that 3 miles, every step was in pain. And mile 11, it was like water stop, and there's a bunch of athlete there taking a break or drinking water, and I just tell them like if they have anybody have ibuprofen, and this one gentleman have some Advil, and it said like I asked him like how many should I take, and she goes I usually take like 5.
5.
Yeah, the ladies they're like please don't take 5. Make sure that make sure you eat. You have something
Yeah,
in your stomach because it will mess you up.
correct. Yeah.
So so go, okay. So I took 3 ibuprofen from him, and I took 2 because I thinking like I need only 2 miles. I need
Mhm.
2 miles to finish, And I took that, and I kept 1, and the ibuprofen saved me because again, George, I was in pain every step, and I survived. And Sam had. She refused to leave me because I told her, like, Sam, go, 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 because I don't want to mess up your time. She got calm. She go, we're gonna start together. We finish together. So Sam had was she saved me. She stayed with me all the way. So that's I think maybe the most painful for me, maybe experience is this year in Fayetteville, North Carolina. South Carolina. I'm not sure it's South Carolina or North Carolina, but that was painful. Like 2 miles of pain. That was pain. But I'm
But
glad.
knowing you, I'm pretty much sure you smashed it. And if there is another chance, you'll definitely do that. And what about the sandbag carry that you were saying, or the bucket carry? How did
That,
you complete that obstacle as well?
yes. Yes. I was crying and like I was like, but I survived. That's one of the. It used to be the signature of Asheville, North Carolina. It was the bucket carry, and I went on and it came back, and I'm so glad that I finished. But I still remember the pain. Also, I told like I'm a tough guy, but I cried. I admit it. I cried because it was so hard. I was in my tears.
Now, see, Tom, I watched a couple of your interviews and I listened to one of the interviews where they were asked you, what is your favorite obstacle? And you said it is the rope climb. But what I really liked is the reasoning behind rope climb is because you said that is one obstacle which you struggled the most, but later on it turned out to be your favorite obstacle. But now what I'm noticing is that there is also a signature style that you do in rope climb. So to our listeners in the UAE, can you tell them what is that signature style that you do at the rope climb?
I don't know. It just came and then it became my every race, and if I up in the top, mostly I kiss the bell.
Yeah.
I kiss the bell, and then I yelled, the famous, Spartans, what is your profession? And and then Aru, and yeah, kissing the bell is one of my signature, and it took me a couple of Spartan race before I rang my first bell because I'm very strong, but I'm heavy too, and I don't have the upper body strength before, and I don't know how to technique. And CrossFit helped me in my upper body strength, and somebody taught me how to climb the rope because I was watching video and still I don't get it. But Jason, actually, he's a local guy, and he's the one who taught me how. I like, oh wow! After that, um, it become as long as it's not really slippery or really muddy, it is every time I see a rope climb,
Yeah.
it will bring smile on my face. Like that's my obstacle right there.
And one thing which I've noticed is the person who's taking the video, they are also excited. Not necessarily for you to ring the bell, but because they are waiting for your signature obstacle. And I think you guess it 5 times or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I mean, a couple of times.
That's absolutely great. Now, Tom, I follow you on social media, and I've seen other people. They have a similar signature style as well because you posted a video about a lady who I believe was doing the bender.
That's
And,
Grace.
and to be honest, when I just started watching the video, I thought she might not be able to do the bender. And then when she did it, then I saw the signature obstacle. I was like, wow, she's an absolute beast.
Oh
So,
my God. We raced together. Grace is from California, and we became a really good friend. And I always brag about her. Like, look, when we do the bender, I look at her like, think of Grace. That she is right there. Showtime.
you're correct. Because I heard you saying, Showtime, watch for her signature obstacle. So, can you explain to our listeners what is it that she does? It'll be a bit hard to say it. So, what I'll do is in the show notes below, I'll go ahead and put the video as well. Can you tell our listeners what is it that she does towards the end of Bender?
So what she did is like she like flip over
Yeah,
and he do like almost like a setup. It's like he hang his two legs. I mean, locking on two bars and almost like doing a setup. And then when she flip back when she come down, it just awesome. It just like I tried to imitate that, and actually I was working on it on CrossFit.
I see.
Hoping like I don't get hurt because it's just awesome. I was
Yeah,
just like only I think only two people that I know doing that, and Hiromi also. Hiromi, she's my a good friend of mine too. But Grace is the. I think because what happened is I video it so people see it. I mean, Hiromi is like I think nobody beat you her, but she can do it. I know she can do it. But I think because of, me and Grace were racing together, so I beat you her, and I share it to the world or to the Spartan
absolutely.
community. It's
And
like
what I've done is, I've shared it to my friend. One of my friend who's in Pakistan, he has seen it. He shared it to his friends. I've sent it to a Spartan brand ambassador in Vietnam, and he shared it as well. So it's absolutely great that people can do. And I think what she's doing does involve a bit of calisthenics as well because it is really really tough. So
it's,
thank you so very much for that, yeah, Tom.
it's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom, OCR does actually require a different set of skills as well. Now, I see you doing burpees in different locations. You've done some in stadiums, you've done some in airports as well, and you've mentioned that you do CrossFit as well. So, to our listeners, can you talk to us your regular training routine and how has that change evolved over time? Considering the fact that you're doing so many obstacle course races.
The burpees is actually I learned that from Joe Forney, the
I
Mr.
see.
Yeah, Joe, Mr. 300, the first person that reached 300 Spartan Race. And I saw his video and it become like, like, that's a good thing. So every time like go to the airport or, like a state boundary, like a different state and I'll do burpees and become my, also my signature, like some of my friends, like Spartans, are like, oh, it's official now because Tom did the burpees. So this weekend is official for Spartan Race. But I copied that from Joe Forney. I idolize him as he's a I really respect Joe and I saw Joe many times and we are a good friend of Joe. So I I learned that from Joe. The training again is like uh, it just become natural because I'm really sporty guy and I like to do. I don't want to sit around. I just want to do something. Is I get bored easily, so I had to do something. And so far, my training is CrossFit, and I think it benefits for me mostly for obstacle racing, because again, you know, I used to. Yeah, I'm just very strong, but I'm heavy. So even just the monkey bars and everything is the CrossFit training helped me. Helped me.
That is absolutely great. Now, talking about CrossFit training, Now, one trend, Tom, which I've observed, I'm sure you've observed this as well, is that a lot of hybrid event is taken up. And you have events such as DECA, you have turf games in UAE, and you also have High Rocks. So what are your thoughts about, High Rocks?
I never tried all of them
Mm,
because even a lot of my friends like Tom, Deka should be easy for you because it's almost like CrossFit and you do CrossFit a lot.
yeah.
And the only one thing, George, is I'm here in a small town here in Kentucky, and we don't have Deka.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I like to try it. I like to try it, but I had to travel maybe 5 hours or maybe 4 hours to get just one event. So I never tried because, like, man, I don't want to go all the way to Atlanta. It'll probably take me like 9 hours to do
Yeah.
DECA.
And
So
DECA is relatively shorter period of time, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes maximum, right?
yeah, yeah. So I think that's the reason why I never tried DECA yet because it's like nothing close to me. But I like to try it. Hopefully, like Charleston, West Virginia is about 2 hours from me.
Hmm.
Lexington, Kentucky. These are the big city around me,
I see.
and Lexington, Kentucky is about 3 hours. So if they have like DECA, or some other stuff, either Charleston, West Virginia, or Lexington, I will do it. But again, I don't want to travel for just one day, for like for just one event. So that I think that's holding me out because of that. Because it just if they have like back to back, for example, like they have
Yeah.
Saturday,
Oh,
Sunday,
yeah.
I'm consider it. I might consider it.
See,
So,
because knowing you, Tom, I'm pretty much sure once the vicinity is nearby, you might do 100 of these events as well. And
I
sometimes,
Yeah, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. Or maybe I can do like 2 decas or maybe 3 decas,
yeah,
in one day.
yeah,
So,
sometimes what they do is they do a trifecta on the same day itself. So, they have with,
okay.
I think it's called mile, deca mile, where you have to run 1 mile, 160 meters after
Okay.
every zone. And then the deca strong, I think it is called, where you do 5K. I'm pretty much sure you'll do the trifecta in one day, easily, hands down. Now, Tom,
Actually, I don't know. Maybe I can. I think I can do it, but not easily.
so, Tom, what I wanted to find out, and this is something which I personally want to find out as well, is there a personal achievement, target, or number that you're aiming for in the world of obstacle course race?
No, no goals. I just take it one at a time. So I say that because I learned my lesson. Uh, the year 2020.
Uh-huh.
I have I have a big hope. I want to go back to Greece 2020. Uh, Actually, I signed up. I signed up. All my what do you call it? Even my airfare was already booked. And then COVID-19 came and everything was changed. So
True.
now it's like I just what I do right now is like if it happened, it happened. So that's why I don't want to make goals. Like uh, it's just like I just take it one at a time. Injuries is a big factor. So I don't want to really like, because of my injury, I didn't make it, to the things that I like to do. So what I have done, my mind right now is I just take it one at a time, just take it one at a time. And
That's
if my body allows me to do what I love to do, you know, I'll keep doing it. If my body allows me,
one.
injury, sickness, or something. Yeah.
Totally agree. And knowing you, Tom, I'm pretty much sure you'll definitely go and exceed your expectations as well. Now, Tom, you're the OG of obstacle course race, an absolute legend. Now, the next question is kind of like a twofold, and I wanted to get your perspective on this. Now, what are the changes you've observed in terms of, let's say, participants, the age group of people participating, the level of competition, and general observation that you've seen since you did your first obstacle course race and since the last one that you have done?
I think for me because I done the only one thing is like I talked to Dan about it, Dan
Mhm.
McDonald, and she go, Dan, it's been many years that we need to have a new obstacle.
True.
Yeah, it's the benders, the twister. Uh, I think it's been 6 years old now or 7 years old, and we need something new because I think maybe some other Spartan, like get sick and tired, like same obstacle. So I'm hoping that they will have a new obstacle. Uh, I'm really after the COVID-19, and it seems like the Spartan is picking up back.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy because seeing, like even my last race in Florida and seeing the Spartan, like, oh my God, Spartan race is back. It make me smile. It make me happy, like, because Raj, again, I'm not pulling your legs or anybody or whatever about Spartan. It's like a good medicine for me.
True.
Being seeing my friends and being there is just a good medicine. Like away from my office, away from the drama, all that thing.
Very true.
It,
Yeah.
it makes me smile. I call it a good medicine. Is a good thing. It's a good thing for my soul, and I'm happy. I know it's expensive hobby, but hey, I'm happy. It make me happy. So, but again, we asked me about the difference. At least now it's like it's a little more accurate about the distance. Like I told you before,
Correct.
it could be like 5 miles. I'm not sure about international. I only did only two international: Canada, Ontario, Canada, and Greece. That's the only thing. But I heard some other countries different. So, but based on my experience, is the now it's more here in the U.S. It's more accurate, and uh, I like. I think it's getting more popular. And you can see different faces, different shape of people. Different age. That's why I always tell them like Paul Latins.
Mhm.
You know, Marla's winning. Like 76 years old, and what do you call that? Mountie Montgomery, World War II veterans, 96 years old, and that's why I tell them like you should see these people and you say like, you cannot do it. You see this three, and of course, more heart than scars group, Oscar Mike, like the disabled, one leg, blind feet, completely blind, doing so many obstacles. And those are the people that inspire me. I mean, a lot of people inspire me. Um, so it's like I have no reason to, like excuse that I cannot do it. It's so many people inspire me, and again, I love the obstacle racing. It make me happy. I'm also it's a healthy thing for me because again I'm still big, but I'm diabetic, so doing this thing is in my opinion, and then I tell myself this is a good thing. It's a good thing.
I 100% agree. And Tom, I have another podcast which is more catered towards corporate lifestyle. And I asked them, what is it that you do for work life balance? And some of the most successful CEOs, they either go for hiking or they do some extreme endurance events, let's say like triathlon, ultra triathlon event. Now, obstacle course races definitely, changes our work life balance as well. And a bit unfortunate news regarding the Middle East is we may not necessarily have the obstacle course race. And because of that, even me after doing the Abu Dhabi World Championship, I was a bit upset that there is no events coming up. So what you're saying, regarding getting for these events, it does make quite a lot of difference. Even signing up for the event, the moment you signed up for the event, you know that now you have to get off your couch. You have to go there and start doing your workouts. So, I can definitely relate to that. So thank you so very much, for sharing your point and your inspiration as well. Oh, Tom, the other part what I wanted to find out is Spartan Race now is focusing on shorter distances as well. You have 3K World Championship, which is a shorter distance. What are your thoughts about the shorter distance in race formats?
My prime is gone. I don't have speed anymore. So uh, that will be not for me because again I don't have speed anymore because of my injuries, and I'm 56 years old, and I got bad knee. It's good. I'm hoping that we make it to the Olympic. I think obstacle racing is a good thing. Is like I like to people do it because like people doing this exercise and everything. to go to the gym, and I'm glad that Joe Decina created this, or Joe and his friend created this obstacle racing, because it is a good thing. It's a good thing. There's a lot of other people there that the like 300-pounder people, disabled and doing this, and they having a good time. They have a good time, and Spartan community is a great, we helping one another. Is a good community. Is good. But again, the speed, like 1 mile. I think it's not for me because again, I don't have speed anymore. Yeah,
So
I
I'm
can,
going,
yeah, I can do it, but I'm not expecting to do great.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to ask you the question, and I know what your answer would be. If there was an event, just one event, let's say 3K, 5K, 10K, 21K, or even ultra, which one would you pick, Tom?
I think I do the spread
You would do
because
this.
yeah, because I do. That's the only race that I do age group
I
that
see.
because all the sprint obstacle, I can do all of them with no problem.
Yeah,
So yeah, I did multiple age group for sprint.
that's absolutely wicked. And Tom, if you look at the background, you have quite a lot of Tough Mudder, the flags and headbands as well. How has the Tough Mudder journey been, and what has been the most iconic moment in Tough Mudder?
Uh, I think for me is Tough Mudder is different than Spartan Race. Is completely. I cannot tell. All I can say is different. Almost like you playing a baseball and
Mhm.
you basketball. So you train a little different than Spartan Race and Tough Mudder. Uh, but for me, Tough Mudder is more fun.
Yes.
It's more fun. People dressed up, funny costume, and we just having a good time because I think even Sean, the MC, uh, uh, said that Spartan Race, Top Mother is not a race. We just have a good time. But I love number one is Spartan Race. Number two, Top Mother. I enjoy the Legionnaires. Almost like I have like a family of Legionnaires. I know them for a while. And same thing with the Spartan Race. I'm a member of 4O, Spartan 4O, and some other, group. And I like both of them. I like that. I think the when I did my first 2018,
Mhm.
my first world toughest, which is 24 hours, which is in Georgia, in Atlanta. That year was freezing cold. And I'm just glad I survived. That was really, really cold. And I think that's the West was my opener. Like, oh my God, I did it. 24 hours.
24 hours is absolutely brutal. And later on, I do have one question regarding an 8-hour infinity, which is taking place in Saudi Arabia. But before that, Tom, Big Boys. Tell our listeners about Big Boys because I'm pretty much sure people in the UAE are not aware of what the Big Boys are.
You met the other big boy.
Correct. Yeah, I met some of them at Al Watba, and that's how I told them that I know Tom Maming, and they were like, "Yeah, we are from the Big Boys," and I was like, "What is the Big Boys here?"
Actually, just me and Will,
Oh, okay.
the bitch. You meet him, and he
You're
told me
correct.
that. Uh, so me and Will become really good friend. We did many races together, and me and Will, they're big. We're big. We're big, and so I'm not sure why we count that big boys, and I think I created that. So actually, just me and Will, and then some other people join us. Big people. And but actually, just me and Will the bitch. He's a good friend of mine. I think he did 21 trifecta this year.
Correct. Yeah, and he was like a celebrity at Al Watba. People wanted to take photographs with him because he got the huge medal, and
Yes.
everyone there was like, "Can we take a photo? Can we take a photograph with you?"
Yeah, and when you see Will, right? Because he's big, and like but he's very strong. He's very
Yeah.
strong, good in the obstacle. That's why I think we get along together because the very first time I met him, no, I met him, but we never run together. I think it was 2018 or 2019. He was in Palmerton, and he was struggle, and I catch up with him, and like, so you want to do this together? Like, sure. So we climbed this mountain, and then uh, we did the bender.
Hmm.
And I asked him, like, "Are you gonna do this?" I'm like, "Yeah." And back of my head, like, "Okay, let's see what you got." And then and then he start climbing the bender, like my jaw just dropped, like, really. And then followed by the rope climb. And I said, like, I asked him, like, "You gonna do this?" I'm like, "Sure." And Will just amazed me for being a big guy, can
Yep.
do rope climb, benders. He pretty much can do anything. He's just very, very strong. So I think that we created that the big boys just actually just me and him, and then we done many together, and we have the famous trifecta picture of me and him, and actually just Ghibli took that picture. We're in Hawaii, and we're
And,
two Spartan Race. He used that picture.
and is that the one that shows up in the Google image, right? I
Uh,
think so. That is the one. Yeah, I think that is the one that shows up now. If I'm thinking of it, I think that is the picture that shows up.
that was why. That was why. There's the famous also, like Spartan use it. For example, like they have a trifecta weekend, and they use our picture. And when the first time I saw that picture, and actually one of my friend was like, I mean, send me the picture. Like I was thinking, like, oh wow, like how did you get that? And then like I didn't even know about it, and then like they didn't even ask permission like to use my picture. And then I was reading um, things like it's not my picture, it was a Spartan's picture because they took that picture, so it's
Oh, I
there.
see. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm not happy. That's just like you can use anytime whatever you guys want to do, use it. It's fun. It's I'm honored to using my picture.
Absolutely, 100%, Tom. That is, if you go to Google, and what our listeners should do is go to Google, type in Spartan Trifecta, and you'll see two photos of Tom. And Tom, you've done obstacle course race you mentioned in Greece and in Canada as well. How do these races compare to, let's say, the events in US?
uh,
Any key differences that you've noticed, or?
uh, I did Ontario, and it was hard. And of course, that I think I done before, and then last year was Ontario. The, well, United States is the only one that using miles.
Correct.
The rest of the world is using kilometer.
True.
So, so I'm kind of, like because I went to again to Ontario, Canada, and they don't have markers,
Oh, I
and
see. Okay.
they don't have markers. So all you have to do, rely on the volunteers.
Correct.
They were saying how many kilometers, and then you ask the next, a volunteer, and they give you a different answer. So it kind of throw me off. It kind of throw me off. Uh, the different in Greece, like this year, this year is like they go backward. So I was with my friend. He was Maria in Greece, and we did the sprint first because it was like Friday, and we saw 4 kilometer. I was like, oh, we're almost done. Because
Okay.
5, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So we're almost done. We're almost done. Like, meaning is not 4 kilometer, it's 4 kilometer more.
Oh, yeah.
Because here is like, we start
I
from
see. Okay.
the highest,
Correct.
up the lowest to the
Yeah.
highest. So this what I was like, funny. I was like, oh my god, we have a good, really, pace because like we need one more done.
Oh.
Realized that oh, it was 4 more kilometers. Not you done 4 kilometers. So that one also yeah I like to have to see. I know they're not accurate, but like this Spartan markers. I like to, yeah, because at least I know where am I. Even though that majority of the Spartan race is the marker is off, but at least it give me in my mind, it give me some idea. Like okay,
Yeah.
I need or maybe like 10 kilometers or 10 miles. So that's the only thing. But I like Greece, Sparta. I mean, doing Spartan race in Sparta is for me special. Being there, King Leonidas, a statue, and it's kind of unique because you started at the city of Sparta,
Correct.
you finish in the city of Sparta, and they have some obstacle, like in the street of Sparta, and then you're running in the end and the street, and then both sides they have this fence and restaurants, people cheering you up. Like it just giving having some goosebumps right now because it's just a great experience. Like, oh my God, like I'm a Spartan and I'm doing this, I'm doing a Spartan race in Sparta. So it's not the hardest for me, based on experience. It's not the hardest, but being there is just special. It's just special, and the food is great. Comparing the food in Sparta is cheaper than the food here in the United States.
I
It-
see. I've definitely heard some great vibes, regarding the race village as well, and the food as well is definitely much better on Spartan Race. Now, one race, which pops up into my mind is in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, where of the neighboring emirate from Dubai, they did an obstacle course race inside a zoo. So while you are running, you could actually see the live animals, and that was, I think, the most iconic event, probably in the entire world. I'm not sure. And as
oh
you
wow.
towards the end, they had a glass cage, and you could literally see lions next to you while you're running, and I have GoPros. So, that was really iconic. Now, Tom, you're from Philippines. Any chance that you might do an event maybe in the Philippines anytime sooner? Because I do have an interesting story to share going back to 2017 regarding an event in Philippines.
That's one of my bucket lists.
Oh, that'd be absolutely wicked because there are quite a lot of events taking place in Philippines, right?
Yes, yes. They have several. I think either 2018. I was like, there was the same time with Sparta Greece. The same time. It was a Trifecta weekend in Philippines. And it's like, oh man, So, but that, George, that's one of in my bucket list. Like, do a Spartan uh, uh, Trifecta weekend in the Philippines. I know they have a hurricane heat in Boracay, and actually my ancestor it came from that island, in Boracay Island. But yeah, it's hopefully someday. I have a budget, money. I would like to have like Trifecta weekend in Philippines.
That is
It's
definitely great because a lot of people from the UAE, they have definitely done quite a lot of obstacle course race in Philippines. And I remember in 2017, it was in Batangas.
but
So what happened is, it was supposed to be a weekend trifecta, but a day before, on the day when they were supposed to be Beast, there was a heavy storm.
oh,
So people in UAE, they were kind of unsure, they need to go back. So next day, only at I believe 6:30 or 7 in the morning, they decided to do the events. But what they did all the three events. They did the Beast, Super, and Sprint the same day. And it was absolutely wicked. And people loved it because when it rains, you don't get as tired. But that was an event that did actually take place in Batangas. So hopefully in the near future, we might meet us, in the Philippines. And Tom, Spartan Race, they've been doing world championship events in the UAE, and for the past 3 years, they have done it, and it is confirmed for another 2 years. Now in 2024 in Al Watba, will we see you at the Spartan World Championship event?
good question, George. I don't know. I don't know right now. I know. I think that I have season pass. I have just regular season pass, and I think the regular season pass, we can use it in Abu Dhabi. Uh, the budget right now is getting tougher. Is again, this race is expensive, and again, I don't have sponsor, and So, but we'll see. We'll see. I cannot see. I cannot tell you right now that I'm going or I'm not going. Hoping that I can make it because it will be a really famous Spartan race in Abu Dhabi, very famous, and of course I had to train walking in the sand.
It is absolutely brutal. And what happened was that this year they had the sprint on a Friday. And I think it was some guys, I think there were some guys, what Josina did, they allowed them, just the 9 of them, to do, I think they were US vets. They allowed him to do a Spartan Super the same day along with sprint as well.
Okay, okay.
And
It's a nighttime.
it started at 5 p.m.
Okay, 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 okay.
But over here in Liva, we did a Super 10 km in the middle of the sand with absolutely nothing, just the headlamp and doing the brutal obstacle course race. That was absolutely fun, to be honest. It kind of resembles something similar to the Tough Mudder 24-hour event. Yeah.
I like to try it, George, but we'll see. Again, it depends on this year.
Well,
So yeah, I like to go back and part of this year, but again, it's like it just wishful thinking. Like if it happen, it happen. If not, because again, the biggest obstacle right now is the budget.
true, very much true. Yeah. Hopefully, we can overcome that obstacle as well. If you get some sponsors or something of that sort.
Would be that if
Definitely.
if we have anybody that you would like to sponsor me, just let me know.
100%, I'll definitely try my contacts. And I wanted to get your opinion, Tom, because next year, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they're having Tough Mudder Infinity, which is an 8-hour event. So, what are your thoughts about Tough Mudder Infinity, an 8-hour event in the sand?
I like to try it. I done.
That is absolutely brilliant. Infinity, yeah.
It's my infinity. What do you call it? I think I only done 2 infinity. I think. It is a. Infinity is it used to be to get the Holy Grail. Before infinity, you're gonna have the tougher. The tougher is the first wave of the day, and then you get this. This is the best for tougher. So that's tougher, and then toughest. Toughest is the blue one, and then of course the world toughest is the white one. So you will get uh, the Holy Grail.
Holy Grail, that is absolutely brilliant, Tom.
Yeah. So but now it's like they changed it now. There's no more. Tougher. Is they changed it with infinity. So now it's like you want to get your the Holy Grail is you will finish infinity toughest and the world toughest. Then you get your Holy Grail. I don't get my my Holy Grail this year because I don't know why. They schedule both of them the same weekend.
Oh, I see.
You know, the Trifecta World Championship and the World Toughest were in the same weekend.
Same weekend. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I again, just like told you earlier, that Spartan is my number one. So so far I completed 4 toughest.
Both of us. And Tom, to some of the participants who will be doing the Tough Mudder Infinity, is there a message or advice you have for them?
Uh, I'm not sure the course in Abu Dhabi because it's different. So
It's in Saudi Arabia and it's going to be a lot of sand. A lot of
Saudi,
sand.
Saudi.
Yeah.
I don't know the terrain because mostly Top Mother is more flat comparing to the Spartan race. So you had to train.
Yeah.
But it's doable. I mean, look at me, you know, if I can do it, you know, if Paul Lachance can do it, you know, Mountain Montgomery can do it, or you know, Marla Sweeney can do it, you can do it. It's all here. It's all here. Yeah, they're hard, but as long, you know, for me, it's like don't get hurt or injury, and uh, finish the race. Again, probably you can have gear for your shoes because of the sand. So gonna be interesting because it's a desert. I'm not sure part of Saudi Arabia, and majority of of top mother race is you can get muddy, super muddy, very muddy, and a lot of water obstacles. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do that in Saudi Arabia. I like to do it. You know, I like to do it again. You know, again, is the question is the money. I really, really me like very special because that will be the first top mother in Saudi Arabia. That would be really great to do. You know, would be nice. It would be nice. You know, I like to do it, but again, the financial.
And you know, Tom,
Yeah.
the prize money is the highest in all obstacle course race. So far as the prize money is concerned, it is well over $500,000.
Mm.
You know, it is definitely overtaking even the Spartan World Championship so far as money is concerned. So a lot of elite racers, I think they did not do the Spartan World Championship because they want to prepare and focus only for Top Moto Infinity. So it's going to be an absolutely, absolutely massive one. And Tom, with
Yeah.
with your yeah, you wanted to say something?
No, I said like all the big guns gonna be there. You know.
Absolutely, 100%. I know Ryan Atkins, Lindsay Webster, even Mark Beatrice, and yep, VJ Jones. Pretty much everyone is, going to be competing for that. Now, with your extensive experience, Tom, what legacy do you hope to leave with the OCR community? And how would you like to be remembered by fellow racers?
I think for me, I don't have really because again, you know, people will see me right, and then they probably ask like, you know, you do those obstacle racing. I think for me, it's like this is me, and then you know, I tell story about other people, you know, not fit, you know, not Ryan Atkins or whatever it is. Like Spartan races is for everybody, you know, is to get out there to do something, you know, uh, telling your story, you know, is a good thing, and again, you know, this is me in the um 56 years old, out of shape, you know, but you know, you can do Spartan race, you know, not, I mean, Spartan race is not just for fit or strong, you know, you know, that's what I learned in Hurricane Heat. Hurricane Heat is a little different because it is for 4 hours. You almost like you work together. The
Mhm.
strong equivalent to the weakest member. The fastest is equivalent to the slowest member of that class. So you know, it's that's what I learned in Hurricane Heat. But for me, is this is Tom Maming, you know, fat guy, you know, I'm diabetic, you know, not really in good shape, but you know, doing the Spartan race and just have a good time and don't get hurt and just enjoy and meet a lot of, you know, I also meet a lot of good people in Spartan race, a good community. We it's almost like every race is almost like a reunion. You know, we
Yes.
you know, with kids like, oh, you know, he has to go, and sometimes like some people remember you like, I remember you like 5 years ago. We're struggling. We're in, you know, in New Jersey, and I remember you to give us a pickle juice or a mustard. You know, like I
Yeah.
remember you, and that helped me. It was same, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yes, it is. I again, it's a good George. It's a, I mean, Spartan race is a good medicine for me.
100%. And according to me, Tom, you're an absolute legend and definitely an inspiration. And I'm very much sure a lot of the listeners will be inspired looking at you, and I'm going to be sharing some of your contact details once I get your permission. They will definitely aspire to lead a much fitter and active lifestyle. So, thank you so very much for doing all these things. Tom, can you just very briefly tell our listeners what is Savage Race? Because people in UAE, I'm not sure if anyone has done Savage Race, but we are all aware about Savage Race because we see them on Instagram. How is it different, let's say, to Tough Mudder and Spartan Race?
Usually, the Savage Race is majority of the race is flat.
I see, okay.
They have some awesome obstacle. Their own signature obstacle uh is close to Top Mother.
I see, okay.
Yeah, is a good. They're small company,
Mhm.
but it's getting popular, and most of the Savage Race is in the East Coast. The
Okay.
not in West Coast, like California, Nevada. They don't have that in Savage Race. Usually, it's here in like New York, East Side. It's fun. It's fun. It's what do you call it? Let me see if I can. I can uh,
Yeah,
my. Let's see. Hang on, George. I'm going to show it to you, like the Savage Race medal I have.
that's
You can see that.
yeah. That is your workplace, right?
Yeah, that's the office.
Yes. That looks absolutely brilliant, to be honest.
And before I became, I was an obstacle racer. I was just a runner. Those are my
Oh, so those are your running ones.
the
Oh,
5K, 10K, half marathon. That's one side of my wall.
I can see those massive shields as well. That is absolutely brilliant, to be honest. I can't
Yeah,
even imagine coming close to that.
I think I'm going to say this one, this side.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the poster 200 Spartan race, 100 Spartan, 300 Spartan.
Yeah, this is 100. This is my 200, and these are my old medals. And here's my 4 special medals right here. See that, George? My first one, my 100, my 200, and this is my 300. I got this in Sparta last year.
In Greece, right? Yeah.
I got my 300 race in Greece. That's special. A lot of messy office.
To be
Sorry.
honest, absolutely inspirational. No, thank you so much, because what I'm going to do is my uncle, who's exactly 56 years old, and he's on the heavier side as well, just since the past 6 months, because our grandmom passed away, so he was not active at all. But ever since that, one thing which is keeping him active is just walking. So he's walking. He started with 3K. Now every day he's walking, like just walking 10 to 11 kilometers. I'm definitely going to share him this. So, thank you so very much for that. And thank you so very much, for doing this session as well. Now, I have one fun question, which is not related to sports and fitness, Tom. Your favorite genre of music?
Take a guess.
Uh, I would like to say something, maybe Filipino music or some ancient form of music. I'm hoping it is heavy metal. I'm not sure if it is heavy metal.
I'm from
I didn't hear it.
I'm from the 80s. I like
Classic rock.
uh, I'm a metalhead.
Oh, Tom, I absolutely love metal. So you're talking about like AC/DC, Black Sabbath.
Heavier than that. So yeah, I like them. So the 80s, I came here in the US 87. So listening to heavy metal, Aussie, one of my all-time favorite is Skid Row.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, Scorpion, all that kind of thing. So yeah, but I like different kind of music. It depends on my but my genre. My favorite is heavy metal. One of my favorite right now is like Five Finger Death
Oh
Punch.
yeah. Five Finger Death Punch. They have absolutely wicked. I'm not sure if you've heard of this band called Rush. They were from
Yeah,
Canada.
80s, yes, yes. I actually I was still in high school. I was still back in Philippines when some of my friends like listening to them. And actually, my very first one, I was like become a heavy metal group is Queen.
Oh yeah, absolutely, legends. Yeah.
Yeah, I was second year high schooler. Listening Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, oh my god, that was good. But I, I, I like heavy metal. Linkin Park, different style. But I gonna see Disturb. I think in March. Like,
Oh man, that is one band I definitely want to see, and I hope they do the cover version of Sounds of Silence.
oh
The crowd would absolutely go mad once they do that.
my God, I think that song they become more popular to
Correct.
regular people
Yeah.
because awesome. I saw them concert and playing that. I had a goosebump again. It just you know I cannot sing, but I try to sing along with them. With other people, probably around me, like shut up, let them sing.
It's so great, that we can at least bond on that music as well. So, because in UAE, I haven't met a single person, listens to heavy metal. I try to ask them about, rock music. They are like, no, we are more into hip hop. So, it's glad to know that, you listen to some classic, old school heavy metal and, hard rock. So, thank you so much for that. Now, the final question and request, Tom, is can you send across a message in your native language to the Filipino community in obstacle course race from the UAE?
Mabuhay, mga kabayan. Maligayang Pasko at maligayang bagong taon mga kabayan dyan sa UAE. Mabuhay sa mga Pilipino dyan sa Middle East.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for that. Really, really appreciate it. Finally, Tom, as we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share to our audience, whether it's about your journey or any upcoming race that you're excited about?
uh, it's a lot. It's going to be a busy year. Again, I'm training almost every day. I like to get better. I'm just having a problem with my foot, both my legs, because I'm diabetic, and I had to see a doctor what's going on. But if everything goes well, it should be busy again here, and I like to maybe go some other places that I've never been, meet new people, and hopefully I can make it to Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. It
Yeah,
depends.
absolutely wicked, yeah. That'd be absolutely wicked, yeah. And I wish you nothing but the best. I do hope your health or your leg heals faster and better. And hopefully we can definitely meet in Al Batba or Saudi Arabia or maybe even Philippines,
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Thank you, George, and
like,
you guys holiday, and hopefully I'll see you someday.
thank you very much, Tom, for doing this and happy holidays as well and enjoy the beautiful vacation. Thank you so very much for doing this, Tom.
Aru.